Alright, the first game I think I will play Undying. That's like the most uh, describing this position hero, I guess. Like the 5 line dominator, I think that is the best describing hero, I suppose. Okay, so first thing first, I'm gonna block the camp. Obviously, the things with blocking the camp, like for example here, still works. You need to find, you know, the exact minimal, like here, positioning behind this brown tree or yellow slash orange. You know, bro, that's what I mean. This type of tree, and then you can block the camp. You usually have advantage because the enemy position 4 usually goes places a sentry, like this position where I'm standing right now, this position where I'm standing right now, or right in the middle of the camp. If you are fast, you can spot that. Alright, so that's first. The second thing, you can probably notice my build. That is pretty, I would say, standard Undying stuff. So you can see that I have, you know, 2 sets of mangoes. Helps with base regen. Undying has a really small one. We're gonna look at it, 2.4. That's very, very small. So that mangoes help with that a little bit. I do have clarities in order for me to, or like 1 clarity in order for me to use it properly, which I will try to do in this game if that would be possible. Also, when I have only 1 set of tangos, I don't need more. I can fly in more, or I most likely will fly in more later. Just blocking the camp, that's standard. If I'm gonna look at my build, this is what I usually do on Undying. I also said it in the game live. You can do it a little bit differently. I've seen a lot of people just going, for example, 9 mangoes, you know, and then flying out additional region afterwards. I've seen people who go just 3 mangoes, 2 clarities, you know, and build sort of variant in between. I have something in between myself. I have 2 times 3 mangoes, so 6 and 1 clarity, which I've also shown in the game how to use it, because clarities are the most efficient regen item way in terms of mana regen. Obviously, like the low cost one is the most efficient, because it gives you for the mana it gives, or for the money it gives you the most regen. It's depending on how you use it. The lane dominators are focused a lot on mana, because what you are doing with all of them usually is trading mana for regen, which is usually better because the regen just costs more than the mana. You know, 1 set of tangos costs 90, 1 clarity costs 50. The problem is how you use the clarity, because clarity can be cancelled, the tangos cannot. So it's all about how you use your regen. What I saw was versus Necro on the lane. So immediately queuing up stick, obviously, because this guy is just gonna be spamming spells. And then what I'm gonna be doing is pretty simple. Just gonna be zoning out this guy, or trying to force him to use spells on me, not to use them on Mirana, same as Patch. See? Like Patch immediately goes in, tries to contest with me. Now they made a mistake. And at this point, I don't see the Patch, but I'm already doing what I should be doing as this lane dominator, as the lane securer. I'm just going, there I see the Patch, there I see the hook, and I know I can go and harass because he doesn't have one. So I'm trading with the Patch, I don't really care, that's fine. And now they give me double stack, which is perfect. And now they cannot trade with me even if they would want to. This error was unfortunate, but it was also kinda my fault. Yeah, and all that I'm doing is just harassing this Necro, harassing this Patch. No, at this point I have 960 max HP. I don't really care if I get hooked, I should not die. This Mirana got a free kill, because The patch can't really help the Necro, and the Necro is kind of fucked versus the Undying. You know, and this is the point. I will use Clarity. I can. You know, there is no one who can really pressure me at this point. The patch can't really pressure me. I'm fine with using the Clarity, and I don't have to use the Mangoes. This is what's important on Dying. I think something that a lot of people miss on Undying in general. And as you can see, I've used one Tango. That's it. I didn't have to use anything else, which is absolutely perfect. And now, what I also talked about within the game, uh, and I want to talk about now, this is the reason why you, for example, have Clarity 1 or maybe even 2. You kill a person, you know the lane's secure, well, usually when it's offlane, right now. You know the lane is secure, you know you are absolutely in no danger of the Clarity being cancelled, especially since you are playing also versus melee 4, but even if it would be range 4. The range 4 wanna stay on the lane. Or if you kill a position 4, right? The other person wants to stay on the lane. Why? Because they are missing golden XP if they are gonna go and hunt you for the one Clarity that really is good for you, but I mean for them doesn't really do anything whether they cancel it or not. And they are just losing XP and gold. So what you can do in this situation is to just go do other stuff, which at this point could be pulling, could be stacking. Use the Clarity in the meantime. It is the most efficient, low cost mana regen item, and this way you are gonna use it in the full duration, and also you are not wasting time, because people are not buying Clarities, people are buying Mangoes because they are afraid of the fact that the Clarity is gonna get cancelled. And there is a theory, you know, that when you use Clarity, you are effectively for like 30 seconds, you are absolutely useless. Or like 15 seconds, because you have to sit and wait for the Clarity to not get cancelled. But if you do it like this, since we are playing dominating lane, this is the situation that usually should happen, that the enemy is forced out of the lane or something. That means we can go back, we can do other stuff like stack, pull, and regen the mana in between. We don't need that many mangoes, and that's what I also did on the lane. I really don't like using the mangoes unless it's necessary, because the mango, for example, restores me 100 mana. That is literally my Q. So one mango means I can use my decay once. Like, that is really inefficient. So I wanna be as efficient as possible and save them. You know, I can save them for the Mirana if she needs mana. I can save them for myself later on if I need mana. Stuff like that. I wanted to stack, patch, read it, that's fine. And what does it mean for me again? I know where the patch is. I know he's on the left side. That means the Necro is isolated between the two of us. And the patch is isolated also, but the patch is not really in danger. The Necro is, because look where the wave is. So the Necro is in danger. I'm playing lane dominator. What does it mean for me? Well, I'm going. And back to doing the same shit, you know? Again, I don't care if I tank the hook. I really don't. I'm strong enough. I can tank it. Perfect. And this means the Necro died, right? And this patch didn't really achieve anything either. I'm just in time to stack. Yes, perfect. This guy maybe actually can kill me. So I'll just in case use this. Come here, boys. Thank you. Okay. He killed me, but he died for it, so I don't really mind. Here, if I wouldn't have turned to do the 2 additional auto attacks, this guy would have still died and I would run away. But because I traded with him, I fucked it up and died. I think this was, first big mistake on this lane that I made. That I gave Patch essentially a free kill when he was already dead, basically. So that was poorly played by me. If I wouldn't have turned for attacks, if I would have just run, I would have been fine. Here I was overconfident a lot. I'm still level 2. The patch got the XP for killing me, which I kind of forgot. And I thought I'm unkillable, right? With the decay. So this is 2 heroes that are on level 3. This should be level 2 Deadpools, it is. And this should be level 2 Rot, it is. So I thought I'm unkillable, while in fact I'm not. I have no stick charges, I didn't eat Tango. Yes, the Mirana is kinda AFK, which is unfortunate, but I played that really well, considering everything, and I still died. Here, if I would have turned... No, I died before it. Okay. Yeah, the Mirana was AFK, that was kinda unfortunate, but it's not really her fault. This was me being super overconfident, and this is, for example, what you should not do. Even though you are playing a lane dominator, and usually when your 1v2 scenario is good, which again, like I said within the game, we are gonna talk about in future videos, but this is, for example, what you this is a great example of what you should not do if you are playing lane dominator, and this is something that you need to be aware of as a lane dominators. Because usually what happens, and that happens even to me, as you can see it happened here, I get too cocky, I get too overconfident because I know I'm playing a hero that is really strong. But that doesn't mean that I cannot die. You know, I could have solved this, for example, by buying Raindrop. I could have solved this by having Fairy Fire and I would have survived. You know, stuff like that. But this you need to be really aware of. Playing a lane dominator is, in my opinion, out of all of those categories, it is probably the second hardest, I think, in terms of laning stage. Not because of the fact that the hero is just like weak or anything like that. For me personally, I don't know how everybody else feels about it. Everybody will have a different idea, different feeling. But the way how I look at it is that I rather play unfortunate or like bad matchup and try to outskill the opponent rather than playing a good matchup and then fucking up like this because I get too overconfident. This shows you how not to be aggressive. You can be aggressive and you should be aggressive with the lane dominators, but you need to be aggressive in a good positions, in good situations. I can be aggressive when I have, for example, at least like two stacks of decay on me, because at that point I get tanky and I can do the stuff that I was trying to do, like zone out, deal some damage. But if I get overconfident and if I'm gonna run into the heroes that are level over me, then I'm fucked. So this is important. The Mirana got the counter kill, whatever. I think also this time I can use the fact, okay, Necro is out, Patch is not here, I can pull. And I can pull the entire creep wave because I stacked previously. So this entire creep wave dies and Mirana doesn't really care, she can farm it on the tower pretty well thanks to the items she already has. And at this point, the Mirana is completely fine and I can go and move on to the other lane. This is another thing that lane dominators always do and is really important for you to realize that. It is about the lane security. As soon as the lane's secure and my carry is not in imminent danger and I can leave him and do other stuff, I'm gonna do that. Because that's what lane dominators do. Like, I secured the lane and I'm moving on to go and secure another lane. Again, depending on heroes, for example, techies can go gank mid. Undying can really do that. Treant can really do that. Marcy can go gank mid. Stuff like this, you know? So for me, the most important thing to realize, I'm playing Undying. I'm like probably weaker out of every single other hero because I'm under leveled. But my Mirana is secure. My Mirana is very happy. He's level 6. This guy, you know, he's having a blast. Yes, I'm suffering a little bit, but I'm moving on, going on another lane, helping other lane. So for example, on this lane, for me, what is important is to notice that we are playing 3v3, but we don't really have a threat. They have a threat. They have a threat of Bushwhack Hook, which you're gonna see right now, actually. Uh, which, now that I'm looking at it, could have been avoided easily if I would just move down, as I should have done. And we don't really have a kill potential or like kill threat unless they fuck up. You know, like right now this was Patch being overconfident, right? Like, yes, they do damage, but I'm still undying. Like, yeah, at this point I know that I'm gonna go base. I don't wanna waste regen. I don't wanna waste those mangoes. So I'm just gonna stack. You know, use the time as efficiently as possible. Go base. Now I wanna go ward. This is something that I'm talked within the game as well, which I'm gonna put in before because it is very important. The ward from the necro. So what I like to do is to do this, like just go around, place a bunch of wards deep, and utilize the fact that I have like this of a free game to do whatever I want. Okay, this for example shows me one thing, that there is a ward. So I can already go and reward that again. And I just made my way like through here. I know there is a ward, for example, because the Necro rewarded it for absolutely no reason, unless he had a vision over me, which means the ward is either here or here, but he would know that the ward is here because I didn't go back through this way. So that means this ward is not here. It means it's literally on the cliff there. See, that is the ward. And right now, like for example, what I'm looking at, right? I'm trying to look at what my item should be in this game. So most likely it's gonna be, or like if I'm gonna look at enemies, right? They have magic damage invoker, sword of pseudo, magic physic pango, magic damage hoodwink, magic damage necro, and magic damage patch. So literally what I'm looking at in this game is some sort of magic resistance what I can build, not really like mech or something like that, you know, like it would be nice of course, but I don't really need that. What I need is magic resist. So which item in terms of magic resist I can build? The okay, blink on necro. The answer to that is, or are two items. One is pipe, which is the one that Axe should build, and he has it queued up. And the second one is Glimmer Cape, which is an item that is usually position 5 oriented, and I can build that. So I'm gonna do that. But I'm obviously gonna prioritize the wards, because the wards are what is my primary job. Yeah, and then for the rest of the game, not much is really interesting going on. I was just building the Glimmer Cape, doing the classic stuff as a support. And the game was pretty smooth from that point. As you can see, like our ward control is pretty good, so the map control overall is pretty decent as well. Here I'm gonna use the tombstone as a objective taker, which is Roshan. Here we kinda give the ages away for patch kill, but it was poorly played, but that's alright. Now happens. Yeah, and at this point the game is pretty much over. I don't think there is anything interesting. Or there wasn't really. The team fight after all, well, pretty simple, you know. Just have a good tombstone placement. Use the fact that you can be in front, that I have the glimmer. I want to showcase one thing which was a bit later when we were going high ground mid, where you can see the glimmer being in play. Okay, I think here it is. So we are jumping aggressively. This was sick arrow. Yeah, and the slider gets ulted, right? Yeah. If I'm gonna look at the math, well, look what the site is gonna do with the Glimmer Cape. So 1700, it dealt 600. So if that wouldn't have been the 50% reduction, it would be what? It would be 1200 damage, probably. So he would be on what? He was in 1100 minus 600 is 500 HP, around that. You know, like this is the power of the Glimmer Cape that I wanted to showcase. So this was the first game, and here again, what I want to emphasize on what I also said after the game. Uh, you have really good laning stage as a lane dominator, usually, which is what you could have seen in this game. You need to be aggressive, but not to be aggressive with being overconfident, which is also what I've shown. It is pretty bad to be, aggressive in that way. So wait for a good opportunity. You need to understand the hero in general, a little bit at least, and to know when you can be aggressive. That's experience what you will get by playing the hero. For example, what you've seen, I made a huge mistake there, and also it was because I already counted with the fact that Mirana will be playing, not being AFK. But if you will be playing the hero a lot, you will see how you can be aggressive in which scenarios, how exactly what you can, what is the edge basically where you can play the hero. Because the dominators, I'm not saying you should be playing them on edge, but if you are playing them on edge, it is really, really fucking good, and then you become a really good player. Because if you are playing your hero literally on the edge of being absolutely perfect, then the laning stage is always gonna be easy, but it's most of the time never that way. Uh, so that's the laning stage, and then moving on from the laning stage. As soon as I see that the lane is secure, I'm moving to another lane because I don't want to be wasting my time there. Because the laning stage is my strongest part. I want to utilize that and utilize that as much as possible. So by securing a lane, I can move to another lane and bully people there. That is another thing. And third, realize what exactly is my hero's strength and how to abuse that. If I'm dying, it was the fact that I have tombstone. So we need to fight. How to abuse that? I need to build something that will help us fight. If I'm gonna look at the enemy team, clearly the item that's gonna help here the most is Glimmer Cape as magic resist. I built that. We were able to fight, get easy fights. Yes, we died multiple times like complete idiots because we took stupid fights overall. But the important thing is I was with the team, which is what I should be doing. I should not be alone farming somewhere. I should be running with the team. Because even though, for example, Undying is, in my opinion, pretty okay late game hero, it is not the strongest. So I need to abuse the strengths that I do early on, which is laning stage and then the tombstone. And I'm not saying protecting the tombstone. The tombstone, you should not be the one protecting the tombstone as much, unless the tombstone is like really, really good. In this game, it kind of is, but You should be itemizing to help your team rather than to protect your own tombstone. That's what I mean. And then just abuse, the tombstone as much as possible. I didn't really do that in this game, but it was more about the threat. When I knew when we can go and do stuff with it, I used it.